In this video, we're going to be going over the top 5 vehicles that you must own in GTA Online. So none of these vehicles are going to be in a specific order, so let's get started. Alright, so the first vehicle that you should own is the F-160 Raichu. Now you can purchase this on Warstock Cash and Carry for around $6.8 million, which is a ton of money. But if you unlock the trade price, you'll be able to purchase it for $5.1 million, which is still expensive, but it is very much worth purchasing. Alright, so this plane is the fastest vehicle in the whole entire game as of right now. So it currently has a top speed of 232 miles per hour, which is super duper fast. Alright, so the special thing about this plane is that it can go into stealth mode. Just click the right D-pad if you're on controller and you'll be able to go off the radar. So enemies will not be able to see you on the map. So that's another super duper good thing about this plane. Let's say if you're fighting another jet or something, you can literally just go off the radar and they can't see your location. But yeah, that is very overpowered when you can hide from other players. So I highly recommend purchasing this jet. Now the Raichu also has the ability to have homing missiles and the explosive cannons. Now the explosive cannons are super duper good for taking out enemies, so you can easily just clear out tons of enemies that are on the ground. They also are very powerful, so you're going to want to use these instead of using the homing missiles. But yeah, you can literally destroy anything in your path. That's why these are going to be super duper good to use. Also, the Raichu helicopter has a VTOL ability, so that is vertical takeoff landing. In other words, you can call this hovering. The Raichu helicopter can literally hover. If you're on controller, hold the left stick and you'll literally be able to hover around the map. This makes taking off and landing very easy. Instead of like a traditional jet, how you just take off, with the Raichu helicopter, you're actually able to hover. So you can just enter hover mode and then you'll easily be able to take off and land. This makes landing a breeze and makes it super duper easy. You know, most jets, how you compared to like the laser, if you're trying to land, that thing is going to be kind of difficult to land. But with the Raichu helicopter, it's going to be super easy to land. You're definitely going to want to check out the hovering feature. Now the Raichu is also considered an armored vehicle somewhat, as it can take up to 3 homing missiles, which is not bad for a jet like this. But yeah, overall the Raichu is a very good helicopter because it has homing missiles, it has explosive cannons, it's somewhat armored as it can take up to 3 homing rockets. It also has a stealth mode, which you can hide from other players like I said earlier, and VTOL mode, which makes it super duper easy to land and take off. Even though it costs a steep $6.8 million, it is definitely very much worth buying. Now you're definitely going to want to use the Raichu helicopter if you want to get from point A to point B. So let's say you're doing the hangar missions and you're already based in LSI airport and you have to drive all the way up to Sandy Shores. That's going to be very easy because this is the fastest vehicle in the game. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to use the Raichu jet if you want to get to a place as fast as possible. The second vehicle we're going to talk about this list is going to be the Ocelot Virtue, or any Imani tech vehicle. But yeah, we're going to specifically talk about the Ocelot Virtue because it's very good. So yeah, you can purchase this for $2.9 million. Alright, so this vehicle has a top speed of 119 miles per hour, which is not bad, but the acceleration is super duper good. It is very easy and it's very fast, and you almost instantaneously reach your top speed, which is why you need this vehicle. Now, if you have a fully upgraded Ocelot Virtue with full armor, you'll be able to take 12 homing missiles, which is a lot, but only if you have the Imani Tech armor upgrade, which you can add inside of your agency. But yeah, a supercar like this, it can take 12 missiles. That is actually very good. You can also take 12 RPGs and 28 explosive rounds from a heavy sniper. And it can take 6 shots from a tank, which means it has the ability to withstand a couple of shots from a very armored tank. So yeah, this is definitely one of the vehicles that you're going to need to invest in because it also has super duper heavy armor and it's very quick. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to purchase this. Now inside of your agency's workshop, you're able to add the Imani Tech upgrades. Now what is this? Well, there are 2 options. You can either add the remote control unit, which allows you to control your car without you even being in it, or you can add the missile lock-on jammer. Now what is the missile lock-on jammer? This is definitely the thing you're going to want to be using. Even though it can cost a lot of money, it's definitely worth it. The missile lock-on jammer will prevent other players from being able to lock onto your vehicle. So yeah, let's say if an Oppressor Mark II is chasing you down, if you have the missile lock-on jammer, they will not be able to lock on to you, which means they will have to rely on purely free aiming you just to get a kill. And we know most Oppressor Mark IIs are terrible at aiming without the homing rockets on. So yeah, the missile lock-on jammer is very overpowered. And I wish they added this way earlier in GTA Online, but at least we have it now. But yeah, you will not be able to get locked onto. So this is definitely going to help you a lot if you're playing in public lobbies. This vehicle has the ability to add proximity mines, and they're kind of like slick mines. They're not explosive and they blow up your car, but they do make other cars behind you that run into the bomb spin out of control and make them lose all the traction, which is kind of cool. Alright, the next vehicle that we're going to talk about is going to be a little bit controversial. It's going to be the Oppressor Mark II. Now this is literally a flying weaponized motorcycle. Now this vehicle is going to cost you an insane amount of money. It's going to be priced at $8 million and you can get it on Warstock Cash and Carry. Now if you unlock the trade price by completing I believe 5 client jobs from your terabyte, you'll be able to purchase it for $6 million, which is still a lot of money, but it is going to be cheaper. So the Oppressor Mark II is literally a flying motorcycle, as you can probably see. So this is going to be very good for grinding out missions in GTA Online and just traveling around the map, considering because it's small size and it's a motorcycle. It's also extremely agile and fast, so it's going to be a very good means of travel. Now the Oppressor has a top speed of 109 miles per hour, but if you hold your bumper button on your controller, specifically the right bumper, you'll be able to go 130 miles per hour. So just hold the handbrake and you'll be able to get a huge speed boost. In order for the Oppressor Mark II to actually be worth purchasing, you'll need to own a nightclub. Then you'll have to purchase the terabyte, and then after that, you'll have to add the special vehicle workshop onto your terabyte before you'll be able to customize your Oppressor Mark II, which is kind of unfortunate because there's going to be a ton of different paywalls which are going to block you from being able to purchase the vehicle. The Oppressor Mark II also has the ability to add homing missiles, which allows you to easily get missions done, especially when you're grinding. But yeah, like I said earlier, this is literally a hovering motorcycle, so you can literally go anywhere. So this is going to be the best way to travel around the map, especially when you're grinding. The Oppressor Mark II also has a rocket boost. Now the way the boost works is that right when you get into your Oppressor Mark II, you'll be able to boost. After that, the way you recharge your boost is by slowing down, or in other words, stopping the Oppressor Mark II. That is the only way that you can essentially recharge your boost. So unlike the Oppressor Mark I, the Scramjet, Vigilante, all those other vehicles with the boost feature, how it recharges while you're on the ground or once you land, with the Oppressor Mark II, you have to come to a complete stop in order for your boost to fully recharge. But yeah, you guys already know that Oppressor Mark II, like I said earlier, is very controversial. It's probably the main reason that GTA started to decline, because people can literally just get in it and just go after you and blow you up. But yeah, please don't grief after other players. Only use it to grind or to get from point A to point B. Please do not attack other players. Alright, so the Oppressor also has the ability to add countermeasures. So you can add flares, which redirect the missiles from your enemies who shot at you, or you can add the chaff, which literally allows you to not get locked on for a couple seconds. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to use those because those are going to help you get out of sticky situations. The next vehicle that we're going to talk about is going to be the Armored Karuma. Now you can purchase this vehicle for $698,000 on the San Andreas Southern Autos website. Now if you unlock the trade price, you'll be able to purchase it for only $525K, which is very affordable, and it's actually worth buying. Now I'm going to tell you why this vehicle is very much worth buying. So it does have a top speed of around 109 miles per hour, which is not bad. But yeah guys, this vehicle is literally bulletproof. So yeah, but as you can see, it's going to be very difficult for players / NPCs to be able to shoot you out of this vehicle because it's going to be heavily armored. Now it can only take one explosive, which is kind of annoying, but it does have extremely good bulletproof armor. So you're definitely going to want to use this vehicle whenever you're doing missions where there's a ton of enemies, because you'll be able to easily get the missions done. Also, you can shoot while you're inside of the vehicle, so you can easily kill people in it while you're doing the mission also, which is very good. Another thing about this vehicle is that it's a 4-seater, which allows you and all of your friends to be able to go ride in the same vehicle to get to the same place at one time. So instead of, most vehicles are 2-seaters and you'll have to use 2 different cars to get to one place. Well, with this vehicle, since it's a 4-seater, you'll be able to all get to the same place at the same time, which is going to effectively save you a ton of time. So that is also a very good thing about this vehicle. But yeah, this is a very good beginner friendly vehicle because like I said earlier, it is very affordable to purchase and it's easy to obtain. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to invest in this vehicle because it's going to be very good, especially if you're doing a lot of missions. Alright, last but not least, the 5th and final vehicle that we're going to talk about is the TMO2 Kanjali tank. Now this is the best tank in the entire game. So as you already know, with the tank, you are completely bulletproof. So no one whatsoever can even shoot you while you're inside of this, which makes it a very good vehicle to use. Now, unfortunately, you have to store this inside of your facility. So if you do not own a facility, you're probably not going to be able to purchase this, since you cannot store the tank inside of your office garage or regular garages, which is kind of unfortunate. So you can purchase this vehicle for $3.85 million on Warstock Cash and Carry. If you unlock the trade price, you'll be able to purchase this vehicle for $2.89 million, which is not that much, but it's also very much worth it for a vehicle like this. The top speed of this vehicle is somewhere around 40 miles per hour, so it's not going to be very fast, but like I said earlier, it is a tank, so you can't really expect it to be super duper quick. Alright, so another good thing about this vehicle is that it can carry up to 4 people, which is similar to the previous vehicle, the armored Karuma. So yeah, you can literally carry all your friends up in this. And you can also add some secondary weapons also. You can add a machine gun or a grenade launcher. So your friends will be able to use those weapons as well, which makes this vehicle even more overpowered. But yeah, once you purchase the Kanjali tank, it will come with the stock cannon. I highly recommend purchasing the railgun cannon because this is going to be the best one. It also has unlimited ammo, so that's going to be great. Now, one thing I forgot to talk about is going to be how strong the Kanjali really is and how many missiles it can actually take. This vehicle can take up to 8 rockets from an Oppressor Mark II. It can take 8 RPGs, 19 explosive rounds from a heavy sniper, and 4 shots from a tank, which is very, very strong. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to own this vehicle, especially if you get attacked by many players in GTA Online, because they will not be able to shoot you at all because it is completely bulletproof, and it can also take 8 rockets, which means this is going to be a very, very strong vehicle. Consider checking out this video on your screen. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment.